Housekiss, welcome to today's Big Brother Over the Top updates and spoilers. Our Housekiss today is Rob Madden. Thank you so much for your support for like a really long time. You're awesome. And if you guys want to be Housekiss today like Rob, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. And also, if you're already a patron of ours, if you want me to answer your question in the spoiler, make sure you send me a message with said question. Alright, so when we left off yesterday, we found out Monty is the first HOH of the season, and it is really going to his head. There was one point yesterday where they were going on an outdoor lockdown, and Monty was like, but can I, like, go up to the HOH room, because I'm the HOH? That's not how it works. Also, they were playing a bunch of games, you know, like charades and 7-Up and that kind of thing. And Monty's like trying to police the rules for the games. Oh my god! Get a grip! Alright, so then, also yesterday, Julie announced that there will be safety ceremonies this season instead of nomination ceremonies. So that's like a lot different. It's going to be interesting. So, yesterday, Jason and Chrissy were chilling in the backyard, and Chrissy just asks, like, ride or die? And Jason's like, okay. He agrees to it. They think that America is going to like them working together. They are talking about like going to the final 2 together, or at least Chrissy is. We'll see. I don't know, because these two are both in trouble this week. It's only week 1. I mean, you never know what could happen. Look at Paul last season. He was a freaking disaster the first week, and then he made it all the way to the end. So you never know what could happen, but it's not looking good for them right now. So then, I mean, Jason, he's not oblivious to this. He is pretty sure he's going up on the block, and he thinks he's going to be up there next to Justin. And, you know, they've got this BBOTT Jamboree Alliance going with them, Justin, Scott, and Shelby. So they like Justin, but he's, you know, they feel like he's lower down on the ladder in terms of that Jamboree group. So, I mean, like, if it came down to it, they're going to want Jason or Chrissy to stay over Justin. That's what they're saying. Alright, so Monty and Scott had a little strategy chat in the HOH room, and Monty says, like, I want Jason to go. I want to make a big move here, and he feels really threatened by Jason because he's played the game before, and he's saying Jason is this great player. You guys know that I love Jason, but did Monty watch Jason's season? Because he was out pretty early. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that makes him a bad player, but I'm just putting that out there. So then, Monty, you know, he's saying, I really took one for the team by being HOH this week. Like, I got to make sure that I'm going to be safe next week and that people are going to look out for me. Minnie, stop licking your arm. Minnie! No! Alright. Sorry, that's important, guys. Okay, so then Scott just starts throwing Jason under the bus, and he starts throwing, you know, sharing out this information from the Jamboree conversation the other night. What are you doing? So, because, I mean, Scott is in that Jamboree group, and he's in that all-guy alliance. So then he's like, yeah, Jason was saying that he wants to keep big targets like you and Shane around to use as shields. And Monty's just like, oh, no, he's got to go. So then they're talking about who some potential pawns could be. Scott suggests Chrissy as a possible pawn, and Monty's like, I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't want to put 2 big personalities up on the block. He wants to ensure that Jason's going to go, and if he puts up, you know, another loudmouth like Chrissy, the votes could flip, and Monty would be crapping in his little diaper. So he doesn't want to swing at Jason and miss this week. So he wants to make sure he's going to go. So then Monty's like, well, maybe I could put up Shelby as a pawn, or maybe I could put Shelby and Chrissy up, and then, you know, if one of them wins the veto, put up Jason as a replacement. But Monty is not 100% sure what he's going to do yet, so he's like, I'm going to talk to everyone first. And I mean, he's literally calling everybody up one by one. It's so obnoxious. And he wants to see what everybody's thinking. So he starts pulling people up to chat after he's done talking to Scott. one at a time in the HOH room. So he was talking to Shelby, he's talking to Justin, and whenever he's talking to someone that's not really in his group, he's like, what are you thinking? Like, what's going on? I really took one for the team being HOH. So, like, I would need to make sure that you guys are going to be looking out for me next week. And they're like, oh, yeah, of course. So then when he was talking to his allies with Alex, Cornbread, Morgan, Whitney, he's telling them, like, I'm putting up Jason. And he's basically just trying to make sure that they are going to vote Jason out. And they're all like, yes, of course. He tells them, you guys are safe this week. It's all good. Also, while he was talking to Whitney, it seemed like he really settled on nominating Jason and Chrissy. So, I mean, he talked to Chrissy in there somewhere too, but he didn't say, like, I'm putting you up. But he feels like, you know, he's got the votes at this point to get rid of Jason, so he's not as scared to put him up against Chrissy. Alright, so then Scott was talking to the feedsters last night on his own, and he's upset that Jason, it's looking like, is going to be the target this week. He's in trouble. And he's like, Jason was my favorite player last season. I really want a girl to go this week. I tried pitching Morgan to Monty, but he wasn't biting at all, so I had to just, like, leave that where it was. If you want Jason to stay, then why'd you freaking throw him under the bus? I mean, I get that he doesn't want to put his neck out there too far for Jason, but there's a difference between, like, throwing someone under the bus and just, like, keeping your mouth shut. I mean, right? He didn't have to do that, so it's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, eventually, it was Jason's turn to talk to Monty in the HOH room. So Jason lets him know, like, I feel like I'm really out of place with this cast. I'm having a hard time connecting with people. You know, all the Southerners and everything. It's just, like, a huge cultural difference. He doesn't have that connection like he had last season with Davon and Meg and all of them and Jackie. So, then Jason, he's putting in work. He's trying to make things happen here with Shane. He brings up that, yeah, like, a lot of people liked him last season, America-wise, but there were also a lot of people saying that he did not play hard enough, so he doesn't want to do that again. This is his second chance. He doesn't want to blow it. So he's like, I would like to work with you and Shane because you guys are here to play. I'm here to play. Like, let's make sure that somebody who's playing this game makes it to the end and we don't have a bunch of floaters there. So he's like, keep me. I'll always be a bigger target in front of you. And, like, he's making good arguments here. He's saying, you know, if I'm the twist this season, I'm sorry because I suck, but, you know, you should use the twist to your advantage, weaponize the twist, and he brings up Big Brother 17 where, you know, Vanessa's alliance, all of them, decided that they were going to keep the twins around because that would mean that they would have 2 votes instead of 1 from Liz. So they were like, yeah, we should keep both. Monty's like, that's a good point. But you know, it's not changing his mind. Alright, so then, I think Jason made a pretty good argument, but I think Monty already had his mind made up. So then, Monty continues his talks. He talks to Danielle, he talks to Neeley. Again, it's just like, what are you thinking? Oh, blah, blah, blah. And then he talks to Shane last, and he lets him know, I'm still planning on targeting Jason. So then, they're talking about how they feel about different people in the house. And, you know, they feel really good about their guys' alliance with Cornbread. Sorry, Cornbread. They keep calling him all these freaking different names, like Breadcrumb and Cornfed and, like, things like that. It's, like, hard to keep straight. Cornbread and Scott. But they also are really liking Whitney, Alex, and Morgan. So they're like, we are going to probably have to decide to go with one side and ditch the other at some point. But for right now, we'll just work with everybody. So then Monty brings up that he's kind of getting worried about Justin. He's paranoid that this guy has got something crazy up his sleeve. He's totally unpredictable, and he's worried that he could be like some sort of secret genius or something. So he's still a little bit nervous about him, but he's still saying, like, I just confirmed that I could get all these votes for Jason. I can't just, like, turn my back on that right now. I gotta stick with this plan and make this big move. So then Morgan, Alex, and Shelby were having a strategy chat, and these women do not like Danielle. They feel like she's too close to the guys. They want to be close to the guys, not her. And they're worried that, you know, she's going to get the guys to go after them. Also, they feel like she's boring, and they don't like her stories. They think she's annoying, and, yeah, but, you know, the guys don't want to put Danielle up this week because Shane is very close to Danielle. He's pulling her in. So they feel like they've got her. They don't want to mess with her. But, so, sorry. The girls are saying, wow, maybe instead we could get Chrissy to go this week instead of Jason. They feel like she's a bigger threat. She's smart. She's strong. She's like a freaking weightlifter. So they feel like she's going to be a big threat. And they want to see Chrissy and Neeley go up. Now, the guys are totally open to Chrissy going up on the block, but Monty has been insisting that he does not want Neeley up, and he said something kind of like, well, it was not just kind of messed up, it was like really messed up. Something like not wanting a mad black woman after him or something by putting Neeley up on the block. No. Alright, so then last night, the house kids were sharing, like, all these drug and sex stories out by the hot tub. It was freaking crazy. Justin was talking about, like, being a pimp or something, like an actual pimp. I don't know. But not all of the house guests participated, and this kind of drew some lines in the sand a little bit. Alex and Whitney were chatting, and they were two that did not want to, you know, tell any stories of their own. So then Alex is kind of not really into keeping Jason now. Because she heard that Jason was talking crap about the two of them, and she's like, he hasn't even gotten to know us, and he already judged us, and blah, 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 blah. Uh-oh, Jason! Alright, so then today, Alex and Morgan were chatting in the storage room. They're a little bit worried. This is the sisters, by the way, if you're not familiar with all the names yet. They're a little bit worried because they seem to be getting in good with all the same people, and they're like, is this really the best thing for our games here? Like, maybe we should branch out more, have one person working with one group and one person with the other. So Morgan's like, well, I'll keep getting closer to Shelby. Yeah, pretty sure you're both working with her. But anyway, Whitney busts in before they can really talk about it more, and she's all like, what's up, guys? So they all feel like they're fine this week. They're going to be safe because they gave Monty this HOH, so they don't see him turning his back on them. But they're getting a little bit nervous about next week. They've got this uneasy feeling about Shane. They feel like he doesn't open up to a lot of people on like a deeper level. He's just, you know, all surface with everybody, but they see him getting really close to Danielle. That freaks them out. So they're not really, you know, sure if they can 100% trust those guys. So then Shelby joins them. They talk about this more, about how they need to stick together and kind of just like, you know, still work with the guys, but not give them as much information. So they're like, yeah, us girls need to stick together. And, you know, when they say that, they mean the four of them. Like, screw the other girls, who cares? So then they're saying that they each want to get close to one person outside of their group. Where have we heard this before? It sounds an awful lot like the Brigade and a million other alliances after that tried to replicate that idea. And it didn't work out so well for a lot of the other groups. But you know what? It should be interesting to see if they can pull it off. So then, I mean, the rest of today, Monty was trying to figure out the order that he's going to name people safe, because there are 2 safety ceremonies. So he's like, I kind of want to make some people sweat a little bit, see how they're going to react if they're not safe right away. Did you take it? Okay. So he also wants to hide who he's working with. So he wants to hold off on saving some of the people that he's really close to. But I mean, I don't think he's decided on a real set order yet. But also, when is this ceremony going to happen? Because, I mean, this week is all crazy because it is the first week, so the schedule's off. I heard that it could be happening tonight, the first one. If it does, we'll leave it in the info, the bottom of the info for this video. If not, just stay tuned. But make sure you check in tomorrow. And until then, much love.